rising tide. Yeah. Super quiet. I don't even know what to say. Like I genuinely don't. There's no reason I should be quiet. My audio is set at the same. Oh, okay. The audio is working. But hold on. I totally, look, DT, actually, excuse me, Derek, I 100% agree with you. However, just know I did reboot. When everyone was telling me that it wasn't working, I did a reboot and then started again without changing anything. Still didn't work. So, I don't understand. That's fine. Let me do input dot. This should be louder. Is that louder at all? I am saying something happily. Okay, so the audio should be louder now. Let me see. Let me take this, move that over there, and move you over there. Yeah, I moved the microphone really far away. You know what? Okay, you know what? At this point, this stream has been such a fuck up that I'm just going to grab this little cordy right here and take it on down here. We're just going to use it like this, boys. I don't even fucking care. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I will go ahead and say I am going to leave Discord and talk to you guys through chat only because no one in the stream can hear the desktop audio, because that's a whole nother level of setting up that I'm not getting into tonight for sure after all these issues. So, yeah. So, I'll see you guys in chat. I cut TFL like off probably right as he said, see ya. But yeah, so we have audio now. DT and TFL talked to me while trying to get everything working. And let me just be clear, I don't have zero fucking clue what made it work. Some might say it was the reboot, but I did that twice, and also edited the script a whole bunch, but I ended up with a script that is exactly the same as it started out with. Neato. How to connect Wi-Fi at install in OpenBSD. You can't. If your Wi-Fi card is not supported, you cannot connect to it during the install. You'll need an Ethernet, or you'll have to download the sets and the firmware for the install. You'll have to install the sets during the install from a disk that you download beforehand. Then after the first boot, because again, your Wi-Fi device won't be set up, so you can't pull in the firmware like it typically does when you first boot up. So you'll have to use FW Update and point it to the file that you downloaded for your firmware. Then you'll have Wi-Fi in the OpenBSD install. There's literally no way to get it working before, because OpenBSD can't hand you the firmware. It's legal licensing bullshit, but that's it. And I have comprehensive comments on YouTube that I've left for people explaining this and how to download and do this, and on Discord, so you can find them there. It is not a Gen 2 stream, Matt, but I know it would make you happy if it was. Yes, you know what? I'm going to mute this because literally this stream has been such an absolute shit show. For one, I'm going to go ahead and say this. The audio is probably out of sync, okay? I don't know if it is out of sync at all or if it's aggressively bad or not. I don't care. We just have working audio. That's all that matters, okay? Oh, gosh. It's Ted. I don't know why it's so sad. I have explained it in detail on Discord and in comments to people on my channel. So if you go back to my past couple of videos on OpenBSD, you'll see comments where I've replied to people. And if you check those out, I guarantee you on the OpenBSD videos, the longest thread chain that you see, that will contain a pretty comprehensive guide to installing OpenBSD without Wi-Fi. What I want to know is why OpenBSD does not have a GUI installer and GUI tools to manage audio. Probably because you don't need them. And also, again, OpenBSD is not designed for what I'm doing with it. Like, OpenBSD is definitely not a, like, it's not designed really with GUIs and shit in mind. It's not Ubuntu, you know. You don't really need it. The GUI, like a GUI installer for the OpenBSD installer would be useless. If you've installed OpenBSD before, the guided installer is obscenely easy. If you have working Ethernet, and I'm trying to think, if you have working Ethernet and your drive's not super fucking small, you can pretty much press enter. Like I'd put a bet that you could probably just press enter through the entire install and have a working and booting OpenBSD system just by pressing enter the entire way through. It might force you to put, I think it's going to force you to put in a root password. So you might have to type out some pretty basic shit. But then after that, you could just press enter, maybe press like A or G or like M. Those probably are the three letters that you might have to press. But yeah. Tyler, I see no instructions on IWL Wi-Fi for OpenBSD, and my laptop has an Intel 200 Wi-Fi card. Your computer will not work with OpenBSD. The NVIDIA card, the Wi-Fi card will work fine. You don't need a guide on it. This is how it works. When you install OpenBSD, have Ethernet, and then after you install it on the first boot, if you have a Intel card, whatever, and it needs to pull down the firmware to make it work, it'll do that on the first boot. And after that, you can disconnect your Ethernet cable and use Wi-Fi just fine. And you use ifconfig. It's a perfectly easy program. But before I move on from managing audio and stuff too, managing audio on OpenBSD from the terminal is stupidly simple. Stupidly simple. And you could, I have, if you want to go check my dot files, I have my volume up and volume down script. You can borrow those, or just use them, set them up, tie them to key bindings, and then change your audio that way. It's pretty easy. I mean, the terminal commands are super, super simple. And the output, hold on. SNDIOCTL. No, not the K. See, I mean, you get your output. Pretty simple. I don't know. I don't think you really need it. But yeah, with an NVIDIA card, OpenBSD will not work. OpenBSD does not work with with that. At least Zero AD is working for you. Yes, Zero AD, OpenRay, Zenotic, all my gaming shit works just fine. Works great. There are BSDs that have GUI installers. Yeah, I believe FreeBSD has a GUI installer. I think so. I'm not positive. I mean, I know it's not default, but as far as I know, it does have one. Thank you, Jeff, for your very insightful comment. Sound. I'm gonna assume you're ecstatic that there's actually sound. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, as far as I know, that's kind of the target for GhostBSD. It's really just like GUIing everything, making BSD more gooey. Yeah. Yes, Derek. Like the old Debian installer. Yes, sir. That's a good question, Philip. That's a very logical question. Reboot fixed? I don't know what it was, but I can tell you what fixed it. 2 reboots randomly fixed it. Don't know why. Don't know why. No reason, no excuse. Just the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. I don't know. Jeff. Jeff, if anyone wants to play some OpenRay, I'd be down. After this shit show of a stream, I'd totally be down for some gaming. Doing it live too. Also, I wish OpenBSD had more software in the repos. That is a good point. However, I will say, OpenBSD is one of the ones where, like, if you want more this is probably going to be the most douchiest statement or sounding statement ever, but it's true. It's the OpenBSD mindset. If you want more software in the repos, make it, port it over. I mean, granted, I'm not porting over a lot of software, but I mean, I ported over my Jonah Berg's PyCom for OpenBSD, followed guides online on how to get it to build and everything, then ported it over. And obviously I'm not putting it in the port tree because there's already PyCom in there, and I'd probably get booed out of existence for trying to put it in the ports tree. People be like, get the frick out of here with that BS bloated ass PyCom. But you know, yeah. Pretty much that's the mindset of OpenBSD. Like, if you want software, port it over. And because of that mindset, you kind of quickly learn why it's ridiculous to ask for that kind of stuff. Because once you start trying to port over, like, a lot of the pieces of software that you think you wanted port over, like, you start realizing just how fracking complex it is. And like, just one person trying to port it over is an unreasonable ask. Like, I mean, one of the things that people want ported over pretty big is like a solid build of KDE ported over. And it's, okay. Yeah, sure, brother. I'm fucking amazed that Kdenlive works reliably over here, which, by the way, I have a video that's out right now for patrons only, talking about Kdenlive. It's one of my few videos that I've ever done where it's patron only. At the end of this weekend, I'm going to change it so everyone can watch it, and it's about how to make Kdenlive stable on OpenBSD. It's a little trick I found to make it like not crash every 20 seconds, which is just awesome. And obviously I've been using it on the videos here recently, so that's neat. Hello, cellular data. Welcome to the stream. Alias fix it. Sudo reboot. Well, there's definitely not any sudo here, so I don't have to worry about that. It's only the good do as. Why OpenBSD has no good documentation on installing all desktops, i.e. That would be because they have amazing documentation, but not on full-featured desktop environments, because pretty much, except for a few, like like XFCE would be a good one. I believe XFCE is ported over on OpenBSD pretty well. I don't know about documentation on it. I have no idea. But they're fucking massive projects. And most maintainers for OpenBSD, like OpenBSD has over 10,000 packages and less than 100 maintainers. Like, I think you have to understand how small of a project it is. And then you'll start understanding why there's not, 5 desktop environments ported over to it. Because out of 100 people, like, you're kind of expecting like maybe 3 to like actually get together and decide to work on one desktop environment and porting it over and making sure it's stable. That's lazy of the devs to say port it over. FreeBSD has a ton of packages. You mean to tell me that you can't automate porting stuff over? No, you cannot automate porting over a lot of software. No, you can't. Again, check the sizes of the projects. FreeBSD has a lot more maintainers. A lot. Is it safe to mix software from the repos and ports tree? Yes. They're practically the same thing. When you do pkg_add, like OpenRA comes from the ports tree. And so you can pkg add from the OpenRA and it pulls it in. So they're pretty much the same thing. So yeah, it's definitely safe to install, but it's still like anything else. You need to trust. Like, don't just start installing everything that you can from the ports tree. That's why Solus has never had software. They are waiting for people to package it. How about you automate converting .deb packages? It's not that simple. Of course, I may be simplifying things a bit. Yes, not just a bit, aggressively simplifying it. But yeah, me too. I'm very happy that sound's working. Don't know why, but hey, just thankful. Yes, OpenBSD is intended for servers. Yeah, like it's heavily focused on security. And because of that focus on security, the system is by definition much more simple than any other OS that you're going to find, because, well, the more complex a system is, the more attack vectors it has. So, yeah. Avoid Linux devs say we have Chromium, not Chrome, but you can build Chrome. That's fair, but BSD does not use that kind of logic. Yes, it does, because you could build it. Yeah, it does. Like, we have Chromium. We have Firefox. If you want Chrome, you could build it. I mean, same logic. Do you think that if people are getting more involved on OpenBSD, then the repos could be bigger? Yes and no. Possibly. But really, in all honesty, like, genuinely, I don't think you need a lot of the stuff. Like, GIMP's already here. Kdenlive's already here. Shotcut's here as well. I'm trying to think. I mean, a lot of stuff is already here. It's just like, as far as I know, also, I believe Electron is in the ports tree. So all it takes is someone deciding to like maintain again, if I'm correct about that, which I'm pretty sure I am. I'm pretty sure Electron has been ported over successfully to OpenBSD. Then all it takes is someone deciding to maintain a Discord package for OpenBSD, which I mean, if I get the cojones to, I might, but I don't know. But I mean, that like what I'm talking about right now is exactly the OpenBSD mindset. Like, you have to have this mindset if you're going to enjoy OpenBSD, which the thing is I'm not saying you should. I just really like OpenBSD. I really like it. I'm not saying you should like it. I'm not saying everybody should like it. I'm not saying it's going to work for most people. It probably won't. But Clearly, I just tried to stream and had a big issue, mainly because I can't write scripts worth a damn, but whatever. Once Appimages are available on BSD, it'll solve a lot of problems as far as software. That is huge, DT. You are massively correct, and that's why out of the 100 maintainers, that's probably now that metric is probably like 5 years old. So it's probably like we probably got like 150, 200 maybe OpenBSD devs, maintainers, maybe. I have no idea. But there is, as far as I know, there's a handful, if not a little bit more than a handful of the devs / maintainers, which it would be more maintainers, but anyway, that are working on porting over Fuse. So there is a big push for Fuse on OpenBSD. And as soon as Fuse is ported over, then Appimages work no problem. So that is being worked on heavily for OpenBSD, because that is something that people want to see. Because, hey, I mean, if Appimages work here, cool. Also, Appimages are my preferred way. So, like, look, if Flatpaks and Snaps aren't here, but just Appimages are, I'm down with it. Like, I mean, I'm not ecstatic that the other two aren't here. I'd just be down with it. Like, I'm fine with that. Just Appimages, hit me up, baby. Android Studio, Sublime, and such things are not on BSD, and I can see why. But Strawberry Player, for example, or Notepad QQ, again, just no one uses those who currently, like, pretty much, like, if the software is not highly complex like Android Studio, if it's not really complex, the reason no one supported it over, it's not in repos, it's just because the people who use OpenBSD, which again, very small minority of people, don't use it. So if you want it there, and it's pretty simple to build and everything, like if it's using Meson and Ninja and shit to build, then really it's like uber fucking easy to port over. It just requires somebody porting it, and then not just porting it for themselves, but going and saying, I'll maintain it in the ports tree. So literally it would require someone like you who wanted to use it using OpenBSD, and then just maintain the package instead of just for yourself, for everybody. I mean, that's the way it has to work on OpenBSD. Oh, Snap! I'm not worried about Snaps ever coming to OpenBSD. That'll never fucking happen. Or if it did, the person who did it would long live in just hatred. If I want Appimages, then I can use Windows or Mac. Same logic. I don't think so. I mean, not. I don't know how that's the same logic. I mean, yeah, the package is bigger, but that's because it contains everything you need to run it. You don't have to worry about porting over all of the dependencies. I mean, if you're complaining that there's not a lot of software and you want software and you're not willing to port over if you're not willing to, then that means most people aren't, which is fair. Most people are not willing to port over software. Like, you shouldn't want to, like, that's not something anyone expects of you. So if you want the software there, and you don't want to work on porting everything over, wouldn't the best thing be just porting over one thing and then it making hundreds of pieces of software work? Wouldn't that be the best? Yeah. Download from external sources and don't care what's under the software. Linux and BSD shouldn't be like that. And see, that's why I really like OpenBSD, because their philosophy is we hardly ever add features to software because features are a good example is System D. System D was once this super small little init system that it was a group of programs like it is today, which is, we could get into a whole conversation about that, but anyway, but it's over time grown. Now everyone wants to recreate init systems because System D is so bloated. And that's the thing about most pieces of software. You patch it, you add features, and then someone else comes along and it's like, this program's great, but it's got 15 extra features that I don't want. That's all bloat. I'll just recreate it. And then this is happens over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it's a nightmare. So instead of doing that, don't add features. And if you want something, you have to port it over yourself. Don't expect devs to just be don't expect to bitch at devs about something not being there and then have them work on it. No, they have other stuff that they're maintaining, they're working on. Most OpenBSD devs maintain about 10 to 20 packages. They have work to do. If you want to maintain and port over software, do it. You should. That's I respect the mentality of being able to say no. No, I'm sorry. I understand you want that thing, but if you really wanted that thing bad enough, you'd make it work. I understand it's super difficult, but the idea that you're going to go, I really want this thing, but I'm not willing to make it work. So why the hell ain't you doing it? It's kind of pretty freaking arrogant. Come on. If you want to do it. If you can't do it, that's fine. Don't screech at everyone else because they're not doing it. Because if it's super difficult and you can't do it, you should probably expect that it's so difficult that most people can't do it, Honestly, for getting started. Yeah. To be honest, I'm surprised. I've been able to record. I've been recording and editing in 1440p with Kdenlive on OpenBSD. No problem. At first, it was a rocky start, but I didn't realize you have to do something specific with Kdenlive to get it to be reliable. And again, I'll have a video coming out about that tomorrow. It's already out, but it's for patrons only right now, which I don't normally do that, but I haven't done anything special on Patreon for a while, and the people over there who actually support me financially, and it means a lot, and actually helps a ton. So figured, hey, why not? And actually do something nice for them. Someone ported System D on OpenBSD, and I talked to him. No. The reason we don't need System D on OpenBSD is, for one, it already has an init system, and it's better. And by better, I just mean it's not nearly as complex as System D, because you don't need it to be. That's again the mindset of OpenBSD. The reason System D is not on OpenBSD by default, and it would be a massive pain for you to port it and get it working successfully for everyone, especially on other architectures, which, by the way, if you're going to port over something on OpenBSD, kind of the recommended thing is, for your first port, make it a simple program that can also run on other architectures and simply be ported over to them as well, which is not too complicated to do, but again, the more complex the program, obviously the more complex it is to do that. Is porting over essentially a case of finding a way to compile it in and for OpenBSD? Yes. I ported over PyCom, but Jonah Berg's PyCom, which is awesome. Got all the animations and BS and the good stuff. Let me go ahead and open up a terminal. Got all the nice animations. Oh, great. I killed the webcam. Sick. Give me 1 second. I'll restart the stream. Okay. Let me move you back over here. Cool. Okay. So yeah, I ported that over, and by ported it, I mean it literally just got it to compile. That's it. Like that's as long as it compiles and works for OpenBSD, you have successfully ported it over. Now, obviously, you want to try and fix bugs and stuff like that if you're going to maintain the package, which is one of the reasons I'm not submitting this to the ports tree, because if bugs happen, I'm stupid. I'm sorry, bruh. I can't help you out. Like, I got it to compile. It works perfectly fine for me. I don't see why it wouldn't work for anybody else, but you know, I'm definitely not to the point now where I'm smart enough to deal with that stuff. Do you think SNDIO is better than ALSA? By a long fucking shot. Like, let's just say ALSA holds SNDIO's like pocket, like, you know, like they walk around prison holding SNDIO's pocket in prison. Okay, like ALSA is SNDIO's little bitch. All right, it's not good compared. ALSA can only go to one place. SNDIO is obviously capable of outputting to multiple places, or being used or recorded. You know, you get my point. A device can be used and recorded by multiple different sources, and it's not a problem. It's just it's easier to use by a long shot. It's less prone to weird shit. You know, unless, you know, the user is running some weird ass magical stream script that he doesn't even half understand at why it works and why it doesn't. Like, I mean, I was talking with TFL, like the people who know like scripting and stuff can take one look at that script and be like, you're doing some stupid ass shit here. Like, you know, you could just do this another way. And like, I swear up and down, you change it. Like, I swear to God, you change it and do the logical thing, it won't work. What I have in my stream, like OpenBSD script, is black magic. I don't understand a damn thing about it. It took me like 8 hours to make, but hey, it works great. Works fantastic. Were you able to get Wi-Fi working? I'm on Wi-Fi right now. If I go back home, I mean, I'll be plugged up to Ethernet. Like, I typically use Ethernet, but I'm over here at a house that, like, I'm not going to show you the full house, but I'll just show you a little bit around. Like, this is not my house. I'm dog sitting right now for somebody else. So, like, I'm connected up to their Wi-Fi. Hold on. Well, I'm not going to show off. I can start showing off the house if I take and move the webcam. That's a little, I don't know. Like, I'm pretty sure that the people who own this house probably wouldn't be fine with me just, you know, willy-nilly bringing a webcam around, showing off shit. But yes, I am using Wi-Fi right now. I'm telling you, man, it is super simple. It is do as ifconfig, the name of your Wi-Fi device, then WID for network ID, and then the name of the network you want to connect to with no quotes or anything like that, and then space well, obviously there's space in between this, but and then WPA key, and then you put in quotes the password and run that command, and bada bing bada boom, you are connected to the Wi-Fi network. It works just fine. Again, that assumes that when you installed OpenBSD, you had Ethernet or you downloaded all the shit and the firmware you needed beforehand, installed it, and then loaded up the firmware with FW update. Because if you install with Ethernet, when you open up the next time, or after you're done with the install and you boot up, again, with Ethernet for the first time, it's going to run FW update automatically. And as soon as it runs that after the first boot up, you have working Ethernet. The firmware's downloaded, you have working Wi-Fi. The firmware's downloaded, you're off to the races. No SoystemD and BSD. Yes, sir. Will you show us other BSDs, comparing them to OpenBSD? Probably not, because I like OpenBSD. I've seen all the other. The problem with the other BSDs is that there's really no problem with them, but for me personally, they don't interest me at all, because they're like, to me, the thing about BSDs is like they all have goals and they stick to their goal. Most of them stick to their goals pretty well, and most of them don't interest me. Like, their goals just don't interest me, or they don't stick to them like they say they do. And then there's FreeBSD, which is literally just the Linux of BSDs. Like they have the same goals as Linux. Like let's support everything and make everything work for everybody and just try and get as much shit working here. Which, I mean, there's something to be said for that, but it gets development pulled all over the place. FreeBSD, even though it's a BSD and more of a Unix system, it's not as Unixy because it can support so much bullshit. It just gets really complicated. Like, I really like OpenBSD. But that's not to say I won't talk about other BSDs or potentially might not check them out down the line. I have no idea. What's the command to query packages like in Arch? That's a good question. It's do as pkg_info-q. It might be a capital Q. I'm trying to remember. I think it's a capital Q. Don't quote me on that. It's Q. I know that for sure, but I think it's capital Q. I think it's pkg_info-Q, and then the name of the package, the name of the package that you want to search for, and you'll find it that way. If you just run pkg info and then the name of package, it will give you the information about that package as long as it exists, which essentially both work the same way. Because I mean, hey, if you're searching for a package and you just run the info command, if it's not there, you won't get anything. If it is there, you'll get a description. So it's kind of the same thing, I guess. Like, I mean, they both kind of do the same job. Could Musel work on OpenBSD? Have no idea. I don't mess around with Musel, or at least if I do, I have no idea about it. Nosy, how's it going, man? Great success. Yeah. I don't know what that's in reference to, but I consider this a great success with the magical script that gets the stream working. I'm going with FreeBSD as I know it'll work with my Wi-Fi and NVIDIA GPU. Yeah. If you want to try out BSD and you've got NVIDIA, go FreeBSD because that's your only option. Because if you check out other BSDs, guess what? The only ones that'll work are FreeBSD derivatives. That's it. Because FreeBSD supports NVIDIA. That's pretty much it. As far as I know in the BSD space, FreeBSD is pretty much the only one that supports NVIDIA. Everyone else doesn't. Now, again, as I've said before, you have an Intel Wi-Fi card. It will work on OpenBSD. 100%. It will work. But the NVIDIA card, no. You could bring Luke Smith. He installed OpenBSD. Yes, he did. And actually, I do feel proud about this. I posted originally, if you go back on my channel and compare, I posted OpenBSD content before Mental Outlaw, before Luke Smith, all of these guys. I posted before and after them about OpenBSD, which is nifty. Like, because I don't know. I'm just sure I'm going to get somebody, coming in and talking about how I'm just copying off the fact that those two checked out OpenBSD and it got popular, and so I'm talking about it, and I can just have a shit-eating grin because I know I talked about it before them. I mean, I won't defend it. I mean, if you want to call me a despicable person who's like, I don't think it's despicable to just do content that's popular after somebody else has done it and made it popular. Like, I don't think that's despicable. But if you want to think that I'm a despicable person who does that, that's cool. I'm fine with that because, for one, I'm not above doing videos that are popular at all. But also, I get to know I'm not who you think I am. I did upload before. Yeah. Like, to be honest, OpenBSD is one of those ones where if you're not expecting what you get out of Linux, like, the software compatibility, all that stuff, you'll enjoy it. Like, because I mean, I didn't have any expectations when I really checked out OpenBSD. They looked interesting. I really liked the sound of their goals. talked with a few people from the community that use OpenBSD, and they seemed like really, really freaking cool guys. Who had, like, I really liked their mindset on things, and checked it out. And I mean, at the time, I definitely couldn't use it. Like, I mean, this was before I had written my stream script and recording script and started, learning about FFmpeg. And by learning by FFmpeg, I mean practicing the black magic that is FFmpeg. I hadn't started any of that, so I mean, I just couldn't use it. Like, it wasn't feasible to use for what I wanted to use. Content creation, just too difficult, not possible on it. But it has thoroughly improved the like, I am running with a 6600 XT and a 5700G and getting full GPU acceleration. Everything fucking works. Like, I need you guys to understand that's not okay. Like, that is not okay on a system that should not be supported. Like, Linux has issues with this type of hardware. Okay? Linux has it. Some distros are using like Linux kernels that are just moderately old and don't run perfectly, like, at all on this GPU. And I play 0AD, and it is buttery smooth. Like, there's like 2 Linux distros right now that give me that good of performance in 0AD, where it's just like I can take all of the settings up and it's just 165 hertz, just beautifully smooth. Like, what? That's not okay. Is the NVIDIA support of FreeBSD the same quality level like in Linux? That's a good question. I have no idea. Have absolutely no idea. I was a guest on one of Luke's streams a few years back. We got to talking about bash scripting, and he asked me if I used if statements. I said I did. He told me if statements were bloat. Okay. I've had that discussion with people before, like the people who are like they only use like case statements and shit like that, and it's just, or switches, like they'll use switches in places, which we could get super nerdy about it, but look, you have to use a absolute fuck ton of if state. Like, I believe there's genuinely no performance difference at all, unless we're talking about obscure as shit languages here. There's no performance difference with, as far as I know, in C, C sharp, and I mean most other modern languages. You're literally not going to get a different result. Like, minusing it. Hold on. I just remembered I need to let these dogs in, and also the puppies need to come in as well, because I haven't fed these boys yet, and it's about 8:30. Actually, at this point, we've been distracted for a while, so it might be 9 o'clock. Yep, it's 9 o'clock. These puppies need to come on in. Give me 1 second. Let me stick that microphone up there. You guys have a good time outside. it's dinner time around here. All these puppies eating, dogs eating. I had to give one puppy his medication, or her medication. I should probably know which one. Let's see. Use ternary operator, yeah. Just got a 165 hertz BenQ monitor. Ooh, nice. I'm jealous. Because those are really good for gaming. Like the input, from everything I've heard, the input latency and everything's great. Yeah, not as good as my Dell. See, I'm using a Dell 32-inch right now, and I can't switch over to a BenQ because the colors pop. Like the contrast is great. Like I can take all of the settings for contrast and brightness down really far, and it still looks incredible. And like it'll save my eyes when I'm doing shit in the pitch black of night. Let me go into live chat, just make sure I don't miss anybody's chat. Oh, let me grab the microphone. I'll grab it and keep it. Make this live stream casual. Why not? I mean, come on now. You cannot find his stream with Luke anymore. I have no idea. I hope OpenBSD has some Electron software, but it's impossible. No, it's not impossible, because as far as I know, Electron has been ported over. That doesn't mean that people are maintaining applications made with Electron. You have nary a clue. But as far as I know, Electron has been ported over. But I believe it's in the version that I'm running, which is the current, which is not the stable release. It is the testing branch. So who knows? You might start seeing Electron software over the next 6 months or something like that on OpenBSD. But he posts on Odyssey and PeerTube. It's been a long time since I've used Odyssey. Like I stopped using Odyssey a while back. Not like all of my videos and stuff get backed up to Odyssey still, and occasionally I'll check on it. But I have much better interactions with y'all here on YouTube. I have the overwhelming amount of kindness I get on YouTube is not what I get on Odyssey. I get paranoid, delusional comments like a lot. Some comments where like genuinely I'm worried about the dude's mental health. Like I've gotten that. Then I get a lot of vitriol and just obscene hate and weird stuff on Odyssey, and it's just I don't really interact on Odyssey. Like maybe one day if YouTube just burns to the fucking ground, I'll really use Odyssey a whole bunch. But the community on Odyssey seems to be very, very toxic. But again, I'm not saying Odyssey's bad or anything. That's just why I don't use it. I've gotten way more hate and stuff and vitriol from Odyssey. Let's see. I sold my 8-year-old desktop having a Pentium processor for $164. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. I don't know what the dude's doing with it, but I hope he's happy with his Pentium processor. Is that a bug or is that a feature? I think it's a feature. I mean, like, look, Discord in the browser works just fine on Chromium. Works just fine. So does Jitsi. Although, oddly enough, like, it was very weird. The last time I was using OpenBSD and I tried hopping in one of Joshua Lee's streams on Jitsi, it was having terrible issues on Chrome. But I switched over to Firefox, no problems. Very, very weird. Normally, on OpenBSD, Chrome is much better. All right, so I've got a puppy by the door who is just dying to go outside. Is that a windmill blade in the back? No, that is the exhaust. But now that you've described it as a windmill, I can't not hear a windmill. Like, meal? What the? Windmill. Don't know what that. I think I had a stroke while saying that. Yeah. See, like that's the thing. Like everyone talks about, like, don't read your YouTube comments. It's terrible. Like, yeah, occasionally I get crazy ass, like really hateful or just weird YouTube messages, but not all the time. Like, and like by not all the time, I mean like it's pretty rare. It's pretty rare when I get them. And on Odyssey, like if I go and check my Odyssey comments, it is nuts. Like genuinely insane. Like some of the shit that I've been told on Odyssey, still to this day, I'm either haunted by it or I do not understand it, and I never will. I'll never reach the intellectual level to understand. I had one comment that somehow was tying in something about FOSS to like global warming, and that one oh God, like I still pretty much die inside every time I think about it. Like it was the most insane comment I've ever read. Can we see the puppy? Yes. Hold on, give me 1 second. Are you the one who's whining? Yeah, you're the one who's whining. Come on, you come over here. Sorry, I set the microphone down. Give me 1 second. Oh no. Oh. You don't have to go behind my head. Yeah. So here's the poopy. Do you see yourself in the screen? Yeah. Okay. No, you're not paying attention anymore. So here's the poopy, the cute little poopy. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Little poopy. Yeah. The crazy thing is I'm getting paid to do this right now, which is nuts. Oh, yes. I'm getting paid to look after a few puppies, which is just the best. Oh, good Lord, you're like Jello. Oh, yeah. Oh, look, and the dog. Come on, man. Come on, I exist too. No, that is not going to be buddy one. We do not need another dog. All right, look, chat, I'm going to need you to chill out because with my luck, this will be the first time my sister ever joins a live stream. And she'll join in and she'll be like, oh, I saw, like, I'll get a phone call. And it'll be my sister. She'll be like, hey, so I saw on your live stream that, people were saying we should have a new dog. I've called the people that your dog's sitting for, and I've offered them $3,000, and they said that we could have him. Like, my sister will straight up, like, my sister will do anything for a dog. My mom, there was one time. All right, if you guys keep up, we have in our family 3 dogs for 3 people. There's 3 people in my immediate family: my sister, my mom, and me. Okay, we got Buddy, Ava, which is my mom's dog, and then Cookie, which is my sister's dog. And Cookie shouldn't even be our dog. Cookie, my sister was out with my grandmother, and they saw puppies. Like, I don't know where, but somebody was selling puppies. And somehow my sister called my mom, and my mom said unequivocally, no, you cannot bring home a dog. We've already got 2 dogs, and my grandparents have puppies up at their house too. She's like, no, we do not need another dog. You cannot have another dog. And then about, I want to say 45 minutes later, my sister showed up at the house telling me to literally came through the front door, and I believe that her first things that she told me was shut the fuck up, don't say a word, and brought in a puppy. And she told my grandmother that my mom said yes, and so they bought the puppy and left. My sister, I need you guys to understand this. My sister is the good one in the family, like the good one in the family. I'm the one who fucks up. You know, I've made a complete ass of myself. I've learned to not do dumb shit, not lie, not, you know, exploit, like fuck. Like I've went through that time in my life where I was a piece of shit, and I've learned from it very much so. My sister, on the other hand, sweet as can be, normally never lies. It was astounding. Like when we found out she had lied to my grandmother about like my mom saying yes, it was so weird, because like that's not my sister at all. And just in case if you need to know who's the favorite, we still have Cookie. Yeah, like we kept the dog 100%. Dog wasn't going anywhere. Dog came through the house, and my mom was like, "Yeah, I guess we'll let her stay." True TFL. I get comments that are outright lies that are easily Googleable. Yes. Yep. I've gotten death threats too, which is just incredible. Like, just, I'm a nerd who likes to game and post videos about whatever I'm interested in. I genuinely don't understand how I can offend somebody to the point where I get a death threat, much less on videos like about tiling window managers, or I don't know, like I don't know, like just weird videos like on Shotcut, or I'm trying to think of other good examples, because it wasn't a video on Shotcut, but I'm trying to think of other good examples of just weird programs that like I've gotten death threats. So I've gotten like 2 or 3 death threats, which is just nuts. Like, I have no idea. Like, what? You just have to like stand in amazement. You're like, oh, this is interesting. Ciao, Black. How's it going? At this point, we're just having a casual conversation. Man, I have been vaping inside. I need to stop that. I'm used to doing that at my house, but I haven't asked permission here. And I mean, most people are fine with it. It's not like I'm smoking a cigarette inside, but still, I kind of want to be polite. And yeah, I just haven't been thinking. I need to set that down. You know, like when you have a habit and you're just so used to it, you just don't even think about it. Like that's my vaping at this point. I'd installed OpenBSD 6.8 on a ThinkPad X22 or X220 1 year ago, and it was a bit sluggish on Chromium. I really enjoy this OS, really want it to be my daily driver, but the performance hits hard. That is a good comment, brother. The Iron Bill, welcome to the stream, man. And let me go ahead and address that for you right now. I guarantee you what you did was you didn't edit any of the system resource limitations. Most people don't know this. OpenBSD has resource limitations out of the gate. So even it will detect your system fully, but it has it will hard limit the system. You need to edit that in your, I believe it's the login.conf. But to fix that, what I'm going to recommend is just go on Google or whatever search engine you want to use and search OpenBSD on a laptop, and you will find an article by Callum Smith. Click on that article and go through it. It has multiple recommendations for speeding up your FS tab so your system boots faster. It addresses the resource limitations, adding your user to the staff group, increasing the staff group limitations so that you can use up all of your RAM, because Chrome is a hog and wants all that RAM. And so you go in there and edit that. And look, if that is upsetting to you, I understand, but there's a reason it's that way. Again, OpenBSD focuses on security, so that's why. So for security reasons, it has hard limitations. That way, it's really easy to know when a program is running away and doing either malicious stuff or it's just broken and has like an egregious like memory leak or something like that. You can easily tell because, well, hey, by the like out of the gate, it's limited. And also, again, this is made for servers, and it also makes sense to have the server like by out of the gate not be able to use up all of the resources. And if you don't know why, there's plenty of reasons for that. I think most people who have ran a server that has to stay up and must keep running will understand why that's important. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's all good. So, like, I mean, people will be mean online. It's fine. But thank you, Cellular Data. I have a 1-year-old dog named Charlie. Oh, I hope Charlie's doing good. Okay, these puppies are whining. They got to go outside. Let me let them out. I'll be back here in just 1 second. And with me having to keep up and leaving like this, I'm never going to catch up on chat. So, chat away. I'll be back very shortly. Plug that in there. All right, poopies, let's go outside. Did one of y'all pee? Come on, man. Come on. I think one of them peed by the door. Luckily it wasn't pee. One of them just yacked up water. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Thank you. Yeah. Say hi to the stream. Say hi. Oh. Okay. Chowplek, I'm reading the response that you wrote a while ago to DT, and I don't know. At this point, I've come to believe. Oh, Nosy, I'm sorry I'm late, but have a good one. Let's see. Yeah, definitely never. I've learned that too. Like, you know, anybody who's arguing with you, just typically don't respond, and you're going to have a better day. I mean, even if the argument is like a good one, you know, just don't argue. Like, it never goes well. Arguing on the internet is just the dumbest thing. It's the biggest waste of fucking time in the world. Alacrity is good. Just know there is no Alacrity on OpenBSD. You do have Kitty, but I'm not a big fan of Kitty. Like, I don't hate Kitty or anything, but if I'm gonna use either one, like, or not like the other, it's Alacrity, like, through and through. Like, Alacrity is like, that's where it's at. Like, that is just chef's kiss. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, TFL, that's totally true. Sometimes someone's just genuinely doesn't know internet etiquette. Like, they just don't know how to talk on the internet and not come across rude. Like, they just don't know how to phrase their statement in a way that's not going to come off rude. Which, I mean, is fine, because I mean, I consider myself someone who knows internet etiquette, and from time to time I will send messages where I read them back immediately and send another message like, hey, just in case this comes across wrong, like, because, you know, I read it back and I'm like, hey, that doesn't sound right. Yes, DT, you're so right. Alacrity is it's the best. It's just so nice. Kitty's really fast too, but I've just gone back to using ST. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. Like, I mean, again, I've got it patched, of course. Like, I'm not fucking Satan over here, you know. Like, of course it's patched, because the unpatched ST is it's just terrible. It just is. And I don't know one solitary soul who would debate that on Earth. Like, if you're using ST without any patches, you're a masochist. Like, you just are. Like, you loathe yourself. Agreed. I do find. Yeah. I genuinely know nothing about the development team behind Alacrity, and I could give two shits less. They make a solid product. Cool. Like, they could be raging racist, and I'd be fine with it. Like, who cares? Like, I don't read what they post on Twitter. I don't care. I don't care about their messed up tendencies, or, you know, where they spend their Wednesday nights, whether it be, you know, at the bowling rink or, you know, at the Klan rally. I don't give two fucking shits. Alacrity is so awesome. I don't care. Like, I read my config. I don't see anything in there that's racy or, you know, anything like that. I don't care. It works. Who cares? It's also like, not like I'm giving them money. Like, no. I just use Alacrity. It's great. Well, you know, did use Alacrity. Thank you, TFL, for those kind words, and Tyler's fact as well, I guess. Actually, I don't even know where the dog is now. I'm happy to have a friendly debate, but I don't think it's a waste of time. But when it's that poop flinging like nonsense, yeah. Well, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like, no, like earlier today I was having a comment thread back and forth with someone about FreeBSD, and like it's not like we were, arguing or anything. Like we were just making different points. Or not even different points. Like we actually agreed on some things, but just a tip, like a semi argument, like a normal human argument, not getting pissed off, not fighting, not, just being enraged, just having different opinions and sharing them like normal humans. Like did that earlier today. Like that's fine. That's what I consider a debate. A back and forth with different points, an argument, just back and forth, like not necessarily best of friends, but also not, hateful or, attackful, attackful is a terrible word. Condescending, just a regular conversation. Good debate. I did that earlier today. Dude, there's just some people like where you can tell by their comment, you're like, no matter what, if I respond to this is going downhill very fast. So you just don't. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've also had people just really come at me like with some really weird ass stuff, but clearly just ranting, pissed off. And I've been my response I've done this a few times, but I've been I don't know what's going on in your life, but I genuinely hope it gets better. I'm not even going to address the argument, but just one human being to another. I hope whatever you're going through gets better. You'll be fine. You'll make it through it. There are some people when I get super crazy comments like that, I just want to be one human to another, man. You'll make it through it. It's okay. We've all had those low points. It's all right. Because clearly they're just in a bad place. I have the advanced version of. I'm sitting so weird. What am I doing? My posture is just terrible. I have the advanced version of URXVT on OpenBSD, but I cannot make it have transparency. Don't know. I have no idea. Check the PyCom config. If you're using mine, if you've pulled down my PyCom config, in the transparency section, you'll find that there's actually a rule for URXVT, which I believe is set to 100. So you won't be able to get transparency unless you remove that or edit it to whatever transparency you want. That might be your issue. Even if you're not using mine, check it to make sure that there's not, an exception for it. Because in most default configs, there is an exception, or excuse me, not an exception, a rule for it. So check that. Yes, DT, have a good one. Hopefully I'll get to see you again. Potentially, on a stream that doesn't begin with me fiddling with a script for an hour before getting it to work for no reason, just by rebooting the system. Let's see. A lot of people love Terminator 2. I believe Terminator has been dropped. There's no one maintaining it anymore. I think so. Or no, that's Termite. I'm thinking of Termite. Never mind. I've never liked XFCE. It's just mainly to me pretty much every time I use XFCE, it does not play well with multiple monitors. The last time I checked it out, it did do just fine, perfectly fine. But pretty much every time before that, every time before that, multi-monitors is just, it was not okay with XFCE. But, seems like they fixed that now, which is good. Great. but that's why I've never really liked XFCE. So clearly never got into their terminal. I try to move away from i3, but I've yet to find another WM where I can just open a window in a specific resolution and center it in floating. I mean, you could do that in DWM. You'd have to patch it. But as far as I know, there's a key binding, or there's a patch for centering windows and floating on your screen, and then also you could I don't know if it's a default feature, but I do know I've seen people's configs where you can have a window open up at a certain resolution, and then you could also, a really easy way of doing it is you can also just set a rule in DWM for that specific window. Like whatever program you're going to open up, you could set a rule for it where when it opens up in floating. So that means if you have the centered patch, which I always do, and you open it up floating, it's going to be centered on your screen. So that solves that problem. And then you just got to set the resolution, which is really nice. As long as the software works, the people behind it aren't the focus. Yep. Really don't care. Except in the cases like Linux Mint, because I do actually care what their dev team does. Because to me, they make something that's important. Like, it's very important for the Linux space. Like, Ubuntu itself could crash and fucking burn. Like a whole bunch of the newbie Linux distros could burn, and I still think it would be very important that Linux Mint survives, because Linux Mint, like, it just works for the most amount of people out there, and it's genuinely one of the ones that gets a lot of people using Linux. I'm not a big fan of Linux Mint, like, personally, but I think what they do is hyper important in the space. And to me, like, there's a lot of stuff that the Linux Mint team does where I'm like, look, do not waste your development time. All right, your time's important. Spend it where it really fucking matters. And that's the only thing that, like, I pay attention to with Linux Mint, because like, I think a lot of people don't understand. Like, when I give, like, the reason I give Linux Mint so much shit is because I think they're very important. Like, it's not because I just don't like them. Like, no. Like, I think they're important. The reason I like this terminal is basic. Well, it's light, easy to configure. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Y'all are gushing over i3. I got you. Yeah. Rhetoric. That's a good reason for liking XOC, but I don't know. Like, I've just never been a big DE guy. I like to do stuff myself. Like, I like to have my setup be my setup, and like when I don't want my setup to be my setup, the only reason I want that is because I just want to play some fucking games, and that's why I've got the perfect setup. I've got OpenBSD, which is the system that I gush over, I love, and I genuinely am very happy with. And then I have Windows for just plopping in and just like loading up a game. Like, I don't give two shits like about the UI, anything. Like, I just care on clicking that Steam button and then clicking on whatever game, like any game, and then just having it work. I don't have to install Proton. I don't have to do anything, and or like the fact that like I can play like 67% of my library, but like all of the dope ass multiplayer games like Dead Side, like DayZ, PUBG, all these games don't work. Like no. I just play a game and then I can just plop that drive out, tell it to go piss on itself, and then plug my OpenBSD drive in to like just anytime I want to get like a game, like I want to scratch the gaming itch, I just plop in my NVMe drive, go about my business. I really like the setup that I've got now. Those two puppies are having a blast and they're playing. All right, TFL. Well, I hope you have a good night, man. Don't forget how amazing Game Pass is for game development. Yep. It's totally the best. Yeah. Should you configure opacity? Y'all. Lord. Should you configure opacity for applications by rules in PyCon or within the application's config? If the application allows it inside of its config, and then just remove the rule completely. Hey! Cut it out! All right. I want you to make a video to Damn, y'all. What are y'all doing? Let's see. I want you to make a video to show basic setup for OpenBSD. I know you've made enough, but showing a rare desktop and basic stuff for blur, transparency, and so on, not just a WM. Well, as far as I know, I did that in the live stream that's like shit quality. I did do that. But, I mean, I could go through like the steps that I do after I install OpenBSD, like with you guys right here. I mean, obviously not make the edits, but I could show you everything that I do, which it really isn't all that complex. Hold on, let me grab this and bring this down here. Let me plug this up here. All right, so this thing should still pick me up pretty decently. I mean, I'm further away from it, but still, you guys still should be able to hear me, no problem. Of course, if you have time to do so. I'm just hesitant to try suckless software again because my first Linux experience back in 2012 was, hey, let's try Slackware. It's got a cool logo. I don't think that's Suckless's fault. I've never used Slackware successfully nor been interested in it, and definitely when you try to get into Linux, going suckless software off the bat is definitely not the way to go, because it's weird, and they are not about giving you guides or good documentation, which that is why I'm not very I'm not like a fan of the suckless software people. Like I really like the window manager, DWM and ST. Like they're really good, but I don't like the people behind it. They're literally dicks. Like they're like you would have to be naive to not say they're dicks. They're absolutely the most combative people ever. Like, I mean, most people would say having documentation is a good thing. Suckless is like, meh. I mean, we'll crap like 3 paragraphs and we'll call it documentation and we'll provide a git clone link. Like that's documentation, right? Like, come on, bruh. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. For a home PC Linux is fantastic. I've actually never tried it. Use CDE with OpenBSD for 90s Unix feel. Never heard that. Oh, thank you, Nick. Thank you, and welcome to the stream, man. I love the simplicity of OpenBSD. I have some problems with audio and video screen capturing with FFmpeg. Don't worry, so do I. I'll go ahead and tell you. First things first. Are you making sure that you have your kernel options set? Because out of the gate, OpenBSD does not allow you to record from your audio or video devices. So to do that, what you'll have to do is you'll have to set kern.audio.record equals 1 in your etc shit. Don't have a stroke, just talk. /etc/sysctl file.conf file. Whatever. Okay, I can't not have a stroke apparently. Whatever. But put your kern audio and kern.audio.record and kern.video.record equals to 1 in that file, and then you'll be able to record. But one critical thing is you'll also, with the scripts that you try to use or trying to use FFmpeg will fail if you're not running as root. The reason is you do not own the video device out of the gate. So for you to own the video device, what you actually have to do is just run chown Zaney, and that's my case, but in this case, your user, and then /dev/video0, and it should work. And if it's not working and you've done those things, and like you can get a webcam in Discord in Chrome or something, then what that means is your FFmpeg command is fucked. And don't worry, it took me only about 9 hours to get a working recording in FFmpeg setup. So look, instead of wasting your time, if that's the problem, go to my dot files. I have a record and a streaming script that I provide for everybody for free. Links in the description, grab it. And it's in the .local/bin folder. There'll be like scripts in there. It's the record OpenBSD and stream OpenBSD scripts. You can thank me later. I wasted my time, or it wasn't a waste of my time, but anyway, I spent my time so you don't have to. Yes, Josh, it's not, unfortunately. At the beginning of this stream, it seemed like it was going to be. A lot of people were telling me to just switch back over to Gen 2 because couldn't record the audio when we first tried streaming, which was fun. A reboot fixed it, but the second reboot, the first reboot didn't do it. Don't. I have no idea why, but yeah. CDE. Oh, I have heard of that, but I have never actually known anybody who runs it. Like I don't know anybody who runs it or who's like talked about running it. Like they've run it before. So I've never actually talked to a person who can like tell me about it like firsthand. So like I genuinely know nothing about it. Like I think I've read like the wiki on it or something. Like I don't know. Like I've read one document on it before. I have no idea. Like I don't remember anything about it. I know it wasn't comprehensive at all. Like it just had details about it, and I was ignorant, and also wasn't going to use it. Like I was just reading on it for some reason. I have no idea. I just soak up information online. That's a problem. There's probably too many like just dumb facts rolling around in my brain. Ew, gross. I don't even think there's Emacs on OpenBSD. That's a good question. Well, hold on. Is there Emacs on OpenBSD? I genuinely don't even know. Yeah, it is. Gross. Filthy. Emacs. Yeah. I'm just kidding. It's okay. I'm just trying to piss off the Emacs users. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lost unless I can find a specific copy and paste conf to do what I want. Wait, hold on. Of DWM? Wait, hold on. What do you mean? You're not chewing on that cord. Okay, thank God. Thank you, Bailey. Ooh, I thought Bailey was chewing. One of the bigger dogs was chewing on the power extension cord for a second. She just had her head rested on it, but for a second I thought she was chewing on it. I was like, wait, no. This does not happen. What's your favorite disgusting sandwich? Probably a tuna fish sandwich. I mean, like, let's be real. Like, it's probably tuna fish. That's probably it. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. If you wanted to be handed any sandwich, it's probably not a tuna fish. Like, there's better sandwiches to be handled. Even if you're fine with a tuna fish sandwich, like I'm not saying you're against it, but like, come on, there's other sandwiches you would rather have than a tuna fish. Like, let's be real. See, I got a good answer for the ridiculous questions. I can do it. Root BSD uses CWM from CDE. Well, CWM is I believe the default window manager for OpenBSD. But as far as I know, it's modified. Like, it's not the one from CDE. Like, OpenBSD modifies it. Okay, so we both found about it from the same place. I love it. You don't even have Vim proper on Open. What are you talking about? Vim proper? What the fuck does that even mean? Yes, we do. It's Vim. How do you not have Vim proper? Like, what? It's just Vim, dog. Like, it didn't post. What do you mean, Chowplek? Like, what, like a copy, like, are you talking about DWM? Like, it wouldn't post? I'm just confuzzled on what you mean. Give me a hefty example, or a hefty explanation of what you need to get interested in it. Just give me a big explanation, all right? Like, what do you need? Like, DWM config, like, whatever, like, X and it. Potato salad on tuna and mayo sandwich. Fuck me. I mean, it's probably not terrible, but it's definitely not the first sandwich you want to have. Like, come on, be real. Well, Steam gains broke for me on Gen 2, so I'm wiping sadly. I tried my best to fix it. I've gotten so fed up on wiping and saying, fuck you, Gen 2. Yeah, Gen 2 pissed me off too. Gave me issues. So, now I'm just happy to be on OpenBSD. Oh, excuse me. Oh, okay. Thank you, Chowplek. YouTube does that shit, and it's pissed people off and had them yelling at me thinking I've deleted their comments or something. Let me go check Discord. Thank you. I'm sorry. Let me hop on Discord. General chat. Okay. You should do a video on system configuration. I've learned a lot in the past few days about Xorg configuration. Gotcha. Okay, so you need, you're talking about Xorg configuration. I got you, brother. No problem. By the way, like, there's no issues with audio at all in the stream. Like, my audio is coming through clearly. Like, is the video like actually pretty close to synced up, if not synced up? Let me know about the state of affairs in the stream. Okay, and so I had my vape like a I thought I had my vape just up here, set up out of the way. But now that I'm looking around, I don't see it. And it's not that I need it or anything, but I'm a little worried that the puppies might have gotten a hold of it and started chewing on it. Yeah, so audio video is perfect. No sync issues or dropouts. Fucking word. Okay. Sick. Awesome. Cool. Same script, same shit. Don't know what changed, but all right. So, let me go ahead and I will show you kind of the way you need to set up shit for X. First things first, if you're going to be using StartX, let's start here in the XInit file. You can run commands here. Like for me, I set my input and output to 75% at the start. That's just what I like to run. I set the name for DWM, which this little command right here gets it to where there's no DWM.6.2 or any of that bullshit. I don't put time and date in the bar, nothing like that. I like my clean, sexy, just clean as shit bar with just the workspaces on one side and the name of it just straight in the center. I like it that way. So that's what that is. That's doing right there. Then to merge my .x resources, then I've got the command to set up my displays for XRander, setting my display at 165 hertz. And then PyCom running, done, set my back wallpaper. And then the last command, all of these lines should end with an and then the last line, exec, and then whatever window manager you want to run, which for me is DWM. And obviously no and there because we're not going to run another command later. And then for your Xorg configuration, if we're talking in the context of OpenBSD, this is the ridiculous fucking folder that your default configuration files will be in. Let's just CD into it. CD into user x11r6 share x11 xorg.conf.d. Here's your configuration files, your default config files on OpenBSD. And don't ask me how I remember that off the top of my head. I don't know, but that's just, I just now remember where it is. Arch is the devil. I don't know. Arch is pretty good. Love or hated, Arch has been very helpful in teaching me about Linux. Exactly. Arch will actually help, like, let you learn about Linux, where Gen 2, if you try to learn Linux by going to Gen 2, you're just going to get raped. And then you're just going to walk away just feeling terrible and, you know, violated. That's literally how it works. Like, throw somebody who's new to Linux into into the Gen 2 world. Like, that's literally like taking a 14-year-old and dropping them off at a brothel with like $700,000, and the goal is to not let the women take it from them. Like, it's gonna be a hard night for that kid. But if we go in here for my Xorg configuration on here, literally all I do is this right here, because AMD GPU is the main one that it's going to pull from. And I just have an output class in here. And this is kind of the way to set up Xorg, where it'll do all the default grabbing screens, monitors, and all that stuff, and then just config it with XRander later. Like this right here is the easiest, because the output class will kind of just, it'll take, like essentially you match driver, like you run the match driver command, and then any output like will use this output class, and you can apply the driver to it and then options for that driver, and you essentially don't have to do all of the configuring for the monitor section, all that stuff, because this will still let it use the defaults and everything and not error out. So like that's what I recommend doing. But Xorg, configuring Xorg is one of the more complicated pieces of shit to do. I was, bro, I'm on Windows. I was trying to super enter default. Oh my gosh. Well, I at the very least want a clock in my bar. You can, but I just have a key binding for giving me the time. It's a really, you know, I don't know. Then I've got key bindings to like change my output. You know, like I can turn my output up, down. The only thing that's weird about the way this script runs right now is it will give you the output variable before like the change, which is weird because the change happens in the code. If you look at the script, like I don't know how to fix this. It's the weirdest thing, but I change. Wait, hold on. I was working on this super late in the night. Let me make sure that like dumb in the middle of the night me didn't like be a complete idiot here. Yeah, no. So in my volume up script here, like it's just SNDIOCTL output level. We turn it up 10%, and then we set the volume variable equal to the output of SNDIOCTL, and we're just grepping for the output level. And the weird thing is it outputs the value of like what SNDIOCTL would have output before, not after the command. Like, so because when I start up everything, I set it at 75%, you'll see, like if I press the command, the key binding to turn it up, wait, hold on, now that had the correct value. I don't know. Oh, snap. Whoops. Okay, now it has the correct value. No, it doesn't, because that's 80 back down. See, there you go. It gives you the value before. I don't know why, just weird, but I mean, this is what it is. I could probably work with if I reached out to like Hex or I really want to get a hold of Drew one of these days and talk to Drew for a bit. He's one of Hex DSL's friends. If you don't watch Hex DSL, definitely go check his channel out. He's much bigger than I am, and he's really awesome dude. But I really need to work because like Drew is a like scripting wizard, so I could probably talk to him, and even though he doesn't use OpenBSD, he could probably tell me why it's happening. It might also have something to do with KSH because it worked fine when I was using Bash on OpenBSD, but now that I'm using KSH, it does not work as intended. But yeah, I also don't know any differences between scripting and KSH and Bash. So, but I mean, I will say one thing. Most of my scripts are Bash scripts, and they work just fine in KSH. So, yeet. Zaney, that's actually the XDG standard for config examples. If you look in the manxorg.conf, look at this. Look at this. None of these are the correct directories, dog. Description. Xorg uses the configuration files. We go through this. My God, I keep forgetting I've moved the microphone and the cord is now right in the middle of my mouse. But anyway, look at this. All of these directories right here, every single one of these directories that I've highlighted right now, none of these are the directories I just showed. Okay? Take a good look at them. All right? user/x11/etc/lib. Ain't none of one of these motherfuckers say anything about share. All right? Then x11 xorg.conf.d. Okay? Not a single one. But that's fine. It's okay. Hold on. Let me go. Let me keep going down through here so I don't make it. Shit. You know, maybe if you read through the documentation, like all the way through, you'll find it. That's probably how I eventually found it anyway. It's just like scrolling down through the doc like an absolute dipwad. Never mind. Don't listen to me. I'm a shit stick and dumb. I'm dumb diddly dumb. Of course it's in the documentation. Of course it is. Shit. Thought I was being smart for a second, but nope. Tyler not be big brain. He be that smooth brain. DWM confuses the fuck out of me. Okay, like let's address that. So let me cd into my .config suckless folder. ls in here. You see I've got, let me zoom in a bit. Oh, I forgot. That was the kitty command. So we got D menu, DWM, ST. We'll CD into DWM. And so pretty much when you start off with DWM, you'll have a config.def.h file where you can make changes. And then once you build it for the first time, you'll get a config.h. Now, if you build the program and you've patched it or made changes in the config.def.h, and you build it, and your build is fucked up, like it doesn't complete because you did something wrong or whatever, you need to remove the config.h file. You absolutely have to do that. You have to remove the config.h file, okay? Because if you've modified it and it's broken, the config.h file is what it'll try to use the next time you build it. So you need to remove it. Then make your changes to config.f. Now, what you can do is once you get a successful build that works completely and you know it works, then just remove your config.def.h and just use the config.h from then on. That's how I do it. I don't know. I'm not going to say that's how everyone does it, but that's how I do it. Now let's zoom back out of here. All right. So I have a really complex DWM, like really complex, but it's super simple. But before we go through here, I guess we'll go through the hard part about DWM, which is patching. So if you see I have a patches folder, if I cd into patches, you'll see I got all these scripts in here, these diff files. And to patch DWM, it's super easy. So here in the DWM folder, where we've got the patches folder, all I'm going to do is run patch-p1 with the arrow thing, bracket, that thing, the pointy thing, I don't know, whatever that's called, that thing, and then do patches and give it, DWM dash, I don't know, like centered window name or something like that. And then I could just run this and it would patch in this file. Now, after you run one of those commands, you'll get output that tells you, hey, so-and-so succeeded, and then if you patch it enough, guaranteed you'll get to one patch that doesn't work. I also need to go ahead and state this. The alpha patch for DWM is hyper finicky and broken by default. You will have to fix it. Do not use the alpha patch for your first build of DWM, okay? If you need the alpha patch, which no one fucking needs the alpha patch. You don't need a transparent bar, okay? You just don't. I'm not even using a transparent bar. Like, you don't need a transparent bar. Shit. I mean, half the time when I'm not like recording stuff, I live without a bar. Because I mean, if you think about it, I really don't fucking need it. I just genuinely don't. I don't need the bar. It just looks nice. That's really it. that's it. But you'll run the patch, and if anything doesn't succeed, cool. It'll tell you, and it'll spit it out into a file called a .reject file. So you'll get like drw.c.reject. Just vim open or nano open that file, and it'll tell you what you need to remove by minuses on the line. So it'll tell you the line number that you need to do. So tab E or whatever to open up a new file in a new tab, in whatever your text editor is, and just go to the line numbers that are specified in there, look for the things that you need to remove, and then remove the things that you need to remove, and the things with the plus in front of them, put in there, and then once you put the things with pluses in there, copy them over, remove the pluses, because the pluses don't need to be in there. That's just denoting that you need to add these lines in there. So remove the pluses from the individual line in the file, save it, build it, guess what, the patch worked. That's pretty much how it works. You build in patches, and then vim into my config.h, and then it's really not all that crazy. This is just regular C code. We got the border pixel for the borders around windows. Snap, I genuinely have no fucking clue what it does. I have no idea. Doesn't matter, never changed it. We've got gaps, because I like to use gaps. Then smart gaps, which allow, like I'm using the vanity gaps patch for gappage, and so we get the option to essentially have no gaps when I have one window open, but I want to have gaps with just one window, so I've got that set to 0. Show bar 1 by default. Yes, sir, Josh, you are right. I should RTFM. Have not upgraded to Windows 11. Well, as somebody who's got Windows 11 on another drive, it's fine. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Windows and UI has never been good. Like, it's been okay forever. So it's really no different. It's like a polished okay now. Like, yippee-ki-yay. Less than. I mean, yes, but I prefer describing it awkwardly as the arrow thingy. Seems much more intelligent, you know? Very astute. Is there an actual working alpha patch? Yes. I have gotten it to work. Yes. You just have to like go onto some bullshit Reddit thread and copy and paste some shit from there into like it's the most hacky way, but yes, you can get the alpha patch working. It's just doesn't come default like that. Sounds like a bunch of witchcraft to me. I don't know. It ain't witchcraft. I don't know. It kind of makes sense when you get to using it. Like, you're patching the file, which means you're taking, like, the cool thing is once you start, like, the thing about DWM is, like, if you're at all interested in learning, like, one day learning how to read, like source code or, like, you know, C code, like, if like, programming is something that interests you, the best way to get started is to just use DWM, because the DWM, the way they do documentation, is the source code. And you start customizing and using DWM, and you'll learn how to read source code. Like, you just will. And the awesome part is you just, like, you can see the code that you write and how it affects things and how it changes things. And once you start learning what patch, like, how patches work, like, what a diff is, and you might, like, I mean, again, I was there starting too, where it was like, this is all a fucking mystery to me. I don't understand how any of this works. But, like, once you get it working and then use it for a while and, like, save your working config and then start changing it and, like, you know, building off, I mean, you'll learn stuff, and it's fun too, because it, like, you literally get to see the changes. Like, you see your code, like, what it does. Maybe not your code, but, you know, learn how to read compiler errors. Oh yeah. I mean, that's not the fun way at all. No. What is a header file and what is a diff? So, okay, hold on. So, ls patches. So these files in here, these are diffs. If I vim open patches /dwm dash, we'll do bar height. Why not? Because I believe this is a pretty simple patch. Oh, it's bar dash height. Yeah. So this is a diff right here. And when you run that patch command that I was talking about, it's going to run this command, and you'll see, so it denotes here that we're going to be removing or that we could be removing and adding from this file, config def.h, which these would be header files. If it ends in .h, that's a header file. And that's your config file. The header file that you're going to change is the config file. Let's see. Are you in the Unix porn Discord server? No. I do have a Unix porn channel on my Discord server. Yeah. header files or config files. It's just like you declare stuff and set things up there, configure stuff. And then you got your diff here. Diffs change files. So we'll go through here, like here it's going to say underneath the top bar line, add this line here for bar height in the def.h. And then here in DWMC, we're going to look for this line here, this LR pad. And once we find this line here, underneath it, we're going to add this, or remove this line here that's underneath it, and then add this line here. So, like, essentially diff files, you just run them and they change other files. It's pretty much a really easy way of someone else editing and modifying code, patching it, and then you applying the patch without having to do everything that they do to get it working. Well, I hope you'll get it one day, Cellular Data. I hope you get it. Yeah. I mean, I don't have any reason that like I avoid Unix Explorer at all. I just don't go and check it. Because, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a reason to, you know. Besides, I mean, I like my config, you know, like I don't really need, let me see, we'll run htop over here, and fetch, kill, see, like we'll get a pretty looking thing going, and by the way, like I really like the look of Chrome, like with the dark reader plugin, all themed to be this. It's this a cat poochin white like theme, I believe is what I'm using. It's just so nice, man. So nice. Yes, that was transparent chromium. Yeah. I'm just going to let you guys think that like I'm a degenerate all day and I always have chromium transparent. I do not have chromium always transparent, just so you know. But to show off, yes. I'll let you guys in on a secret. I only have chromium transparent for the people who like don't know. Like, I can easily make it not transparent, but everybody complains transparency, but who won't? I'm fucking OP hardware. Like I have like a 6600 XT. That I can game at 165 hertz on 0 AD. Like I think my computer can handle a little bit of transparency in Chrome. It's fine. True. I'm sure. Like I've never. Can you review my rice? Just posted it in the Unix porn channel in your Discord server. Yeah. No problem, man. Let's hop over to Discord. Let's check it out. Actually, you know what? Let's go back over here. Let's close this. Hold on. Before I review your rice, let me open up Discord. So hold on. Let's see. Let's change the link. Shush. I know. Please don't piss by the door before I'm able to get over there. Okay. Copy message link. That's what I pasted in here. Can I? Okay. Oh. I really like. Hold on. Let me grab this and bring it over here. Perfect. I really like, man. But we'll do it. I'll talk about it some more here in a second, okay? Okay, I'll just leave this up. I'll let you guys talk for a second. I'll be right back. Gotta let these puppies out. Come on, puppies. Come on, Wider. Come on. Let's go. Get everybody out. Let the herd go. Okay, so now I don't know where my jewel is. And I don't see it anywhere, and so I'm starting to think the dogs might have gotten a hold of it after all. Which would not be good. Okay. Well, so I still haven't found my vape, which is no bueno. But I will go find that in a second. But your rice looks really clean, man. Looks really clean. I like the center title bar. Like with the workspaces in the middle, the name over to the side. Like, I really like it. That's really nice. The color scheme is also pretty clean. It's really nice. It's a really good rice, man. Really good rice. Oh, and it's Q-tile. Did not expect that. Word. I got a 6900 XT. Yes, sir. A little jealous. Just a wee bit. Just a tiny bit jealous. Boo, Arch. Josh, come on now. Oh, yeah. Well, as long as... wait, hold on. I think you have in video, right? I didn't read your... I can't remember if you had your specs as part of your rice pictures, but if you did, I didn't see it. Let's see. Learning via the minute. Ooh, nice. Not a Gen 2 video. I came back. Oh, this is so good. I'm probably gonna have to watch it, but this stream has been going on for quite a bit. If you guys have any questions about OpenBSD before we go, ask away. Because I need to get up and go find wherever the hell my Nick stick has gone, because I'm a little worried. I'm just hoping the dogs haven't chewed it up. They chewed up quite a bit of other stuff in that room, so. Yeah. All right. Any questions, and I'll take them and answer them as to the best of my ability. No problem. Thank you, man. Sorry, I just got down to reading the last message. Can it run Crysis? That's a good question. I have no fucking clue. Maybe. Hold on. Crysis on OpenBSD. No, damn. Darn. Nope. No one's ported over Crysis. Oh, I need to go out here. Hold on. Yep, had to go take care of the puppies. But, all right, I'm gonna go find my vape and do that, and probably record a video before the night's up. I hope all of you guys have a good one. Thank you guys for being here for this crazy stream. It was nice being able to talk with everybody, with audio eventually. So, yeah, I'll see all you guys. Bye-bye.